much eat that fucking shitty pizza your mom made. Oh, because it was shitty pizza, that's why. I'll turn the computer on too. Thanks for putting the bottle away too, like I asked. Rubber ducky, you're the one. What's going on, Leroy? Huh? What do you think he would do if he came home and fucking like Fubar were laying in his kennel?
I don't know.
He'd be pissed.
Yeah.
He would be pissed. Absolutely. That thing even working? There's a buffer in.
Don't know.
Let's open up your fucking phone. It's over there. Of course it is. Fucking knob. I hate this tripod, dude. Fucking knob is there. It's better. Booty Bandit, what's going on? How are you doing? Oh shit, man. At least it's Friday, right? Kind of glad. You got plans for the weekend? You shooting this weekend? Just finishing up work day. There you go. Do a backflip? Sure. Kevin, how are you doing? Oh man, you know that's probably too much. Probably too much. I've been to Minneapolis twice this week. There you go. Grilled cheese, what's going on? How are you doing? Yeah, there's 9mm up there. The gold one's a 9mm. The Shadow Systems is 9mm. The Glock's 9mm. The DWX is 9mm. And I think that Tactical Sport Orange 2 is 9. I don't know if you put the 9 or the 40 out.
I have the 40 out that we have.
40, I don't know what you mean by a Sniper 24, so you got me on that one. Y'all be sure to double tap that screen for me right on. I'd appreciate that. Throw some likes up on this live. I just got jumped earlier this week. I need your help ASAP. Well, if you're getting jumped, there's probably a reason. You know, it wasn't that long ago I was a hoodlum, and we generally didn't fuck up people that didn't have it coming. So maybe reevaluate your life choices. I'm sure that's probably not what you want to hear, but more than likely you got jumped by people that knew you and they had a reason for it. So we're gonna help read, right?
I was going to be getting ready for work here once I finish eating.
What time do you work?
5, get the kind of shower, get ready.
Mason, what's going on? How are you doing? Plus I got a lot of videos to edit and the website to finish making. There you go. What website are you making? Or you had my shoes? Yeah, you may have had his shoes. Yeah, I'm sure you got jumped for your race. Probably nothing you said or did. I'm sure of that. So feel free. Hanging in there every day. That's all you can do, man. Doing good just at work. I do have a Bren. I want to check out that Bren too. I admit that's one I actually want to get myself. The purple one is a Ruger 2245 Light. It was a Lipsy special, so no sights on it, just the rail and dot. Fucking commercial. That's nice. About time. Yeah, it's a nice shooting gun. It actually belongs to my daughter. Where does it show the likes on here? Y'all do me a favor and double tap that screen. Help me run these likes up on this. I've been dreaming of the Daria DY12Y. I'm not sure what that is. Is that a shotgun? Well, Shauna, yeah, I mean, they're all free, right? I appreciate it, Lofu. Guys, do me a solid, man. Double tap that screen. Help the live get a little traction. That type of stuff helps a lot. Just the hearts are cool, they help, but you gotta actually like physically double tap that screen. Just take your finger, go pop up. So I do appreciate that stuff. It really helps. Is the gold going to Beretta? It's actually a Gersan. It's an MC Deluxe. It's a Beretta clone, so it's a licensed copy that's on the NATO approved list. So that's what that is. Andreas, how are you doing? Appreciate it. Focus, what's going on? How are you doing? When is the red gun a Ruger 22? The red one on the bottom, the red and black, actually it's more of a tandem cross than a 22. It's a complete tandem cross build. That was a sponsored gun, so that's all tandem cross. Christian, how are you doing? I'm good, man. Just getting in these live hours, trying to keep the overlords happy. So that's always fantastic. Yukon Bob, I'm good, man. How are you doing? Yeah, we got the coolest airsoft guns on YouTube. You're off till Monday? Right on. Then work till Thursday. 10-hour shifts or 12s? Yeah, grilled cheese, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you stopped. Okay, that ain't too bad. I remember my normal shifts. My normal shifts are 10.5 hours. But Big O, what's going on? I actually just saw your comment a little bit ago. I appreciate you checking out the channel and stopping in when you do. It's always nice to see you stop. So that gun in the back with that fluted barrel, I just got that rifle back. Shaw Barrels rebarreled that gun for me. It's a sponsored build, so that's absolutely thanks to Shaw. That's why we have it out. I haven't had a chance to go shoot it yet. Maybe this weekend. I just want to make sure I have enough ammo with me to do the break-in. So yeah, they're all real guns. So 100% real. You know, there's a 50 BMG in the back, a 308. Race gun that's 9mm majors, 45, 38s, 357s, 22s, 9mm. But no, they're all real. Most trick airsoft guns, they even have muzzle blast flash. I've seen them. That little like muzzle flash they do, I think, is to make their little BBs glow. Just a joke. I love the Barrett M82. It's a M82A1. So that is a Ruger ring there on the very bottom. That belongs to my middle son. My daughter has one just like that in purple. It actually, well, I guess it doesn't quite match the 22, but real close to what that purple 22 is too. It's just a little bit lighter. They're nice. They're great guns for new shooters or even more of an avid shooter. Just something fun to play with, plink with. They shoot. Yeah, I appreciate it. Y'all be sure to double tap that screen for me. It really helps the algorithms out. You hear everybody say that. Absolutely helps the algorithm out. Consider subscribing to the channel. My favorite gun out right now is probably the pistol on the top left. That's a CZ Checkmate. I really enjoy shooting that gun. That's a whole lot of fun. But yeah, I know you can. I wasn't taking on nothing you said serious. I'm amazed how many people don't know the difference at a glance between airsoft and real guns. I think generally, I mean, some of them look pretty close and it takes you a second to figure it out, but most of it's pretty easy to figure out. That Shaw barrel I was talking about, if anybody's curious, it's chambered in 308. It's a 1 in 10 twist. It's a manufacturer out of 416R. They did the fun helical flutes in it with a high polish, and I had it threaded to a 5/8 by 24, and it's a 22-inch barrel. So that should be a good suppressor host. No, they're all real. Root beer, same to you. They're all real, man. Sorry, I won't tell you. It's a Saturday Night Special law, but the way they justify it is ridiculous. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Cheap imported firearms, I think, was probably what you're referring to. I can tell they're real because I can see the 50 BMG rounds holding up the firearm on the table. Yeah. You know, my last live, Christian, I had somebody busting my balls for using live ammunition for holding up cartridges. As far as green screen, no, they're not green screen. Okay. So, hence the reason the dog's in the frame right now, right? So, the shadow systems, I assume is what you're talking about. I like the shadow system. I'm not gonna lie. I bought it for my daughter, and I shoot it quite a bit, a lot more than I would have thought I did, and I actually like it a lot more than I would have expected. Is it worth the money over a Glock? Maybe not quite straight across the board, but they're good guns. We've got, I think she's pushing 10,000 rounds in it now. I haven't really looked at the book lately. Minnesota made me return the Heritage Rough Rider. Why did they make you return the Rough Rider? Bought it on a whim just to plink around with. Yeah, why would they make you return that? No, Jennifer, they're real firearms. They said the Rough Rider could melt if you run like 100 rounds through it real quick. I mean, that's news to me. It's a all metal gun. There's no plastic on it. The grip is plastic, but the frame, the barrel, the receiver, the action, that's all metal. Or are you talking the Rough Rider or the Wrangler? Because I missed part of that comment, I think. I know the Heritage Rough Riders, they have a shitload of plastic in them, but the Wranglers don't. What's going on? Holy Ranger. Have you gotten your bread out yet? Have you been shooting it? You have to hit the primer on the bottom of the cartridge. Yeah. I don't know if you could ever do that with a single action 6 revolver. No, probably not. Jake, I appreciate it, man. Be sure to double tap that screen for me. It goes for everybody. Just got my Alien Gear holster. I'm excited and love it. Cool. Make sure you get some content with it. Yeah, the Rough Rider. So when I decided I was going to buy one of them for my kids, you know, obviously the Heritage Rough Riders are cheap, you know, $125-ish versus the Wranglers that are like 100 more. But I think you get a better gun with the Wrangler. I would absolutely tell anybody to spend another 100 and get that better gun. Yeah, I think you could have a Wrangler here in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm not sure. Goldie, how are you doing? Appreciate it. I just lost my comments. I wait for my comments to come back. There was a commercial. Yeah, I'm good, man. I appreciate you stopping in. I've shot both, spent the extra money on the Wrangler. Yeah, I like the Wrangler. I won't lie about that. So the farthest I've had the opportunity to shoot with the Barrett has been 600 yards. We've made efforts to go past that, but it just hasn't worked out where the ranges we were at. We went down last year. We went down to Vortex Edge in southern Wisconsin, and they have like a 1,200 yard range. And it just happened to be closed that day. Now, most people would say you should have called before you got there. It was a drive, so they weren't open on our way. We didn't know until we got there. I was gonna get a Wrangler, but got the single 6, even though I have a single 6 too. So that's actually the gun I chose for myself. I have the stainless steel convertible, so I have the 22 Magnum 22 long rifle cylinder, and it's a 7-inch. You know, that's a big difference. I think I paid like 7, maybe a little over for mine versus their, you know, 200-ish. So for an adult, that's absolutely the gun I would recommend getting. One of my military buddies was telling me he shot at 1,000 yards. Yeah, they're capable of it, more than capable of it. Let's see. In the range yet, very sad. Got to get it fixed, so I'm excited. We'll definitely make video. There you go. I look forward to seeing that video with that gun. What do you think about my daily carry setup? I run a Glock 20 10mm with this Firearm level 3 holster. Uh, I guess if you're carrying outside the waistband in open carry states, that's probably the holster to have. Coco with Love, how are you doing, man? Hope your day is going good. Obviously, there's a huge difference between the Ruger Wrangler and um, the single 6, but they're all nice guns. The Wrangler's a good gun for a kid. It keeps them entertained for a long time at the range, and they're accurate enough that they can hit stuff with them. So, thoughts on the Canik rival? I'm not a Canik guy, so I'm not gonna dog shit them because I don't own one. I've shot a few, I've handled more than I've shot, and to me, it's just not something that interests me. I see where they do interest a lot of people. They come in at a great price point, and they come with a lot of little extras. So to newer shooters or newer people, it's a great option. But I just got 1,000 9mm. There you go. Doesn't take long to burn up 1,000 rounds, so. It's not a Colt. I think you're talking about the stainless one. That's a Ruger, or no, the little snubby. It's a Taurus. It's a 7-shot 357 Magnum. That's actually my home defense gun. So, yeah, I got a Ruger. Yeah, I like them. I was looking a little bit for some trigger components for one. They're not bad, but like for Gage now, my middle son, he definitely wouldn't mind a little bit better trigger in it. Yeah, I appreciate it. The FRT stuff's kind of cool. I've been leery about showing any of it, but at this point, I think it's kind of the rabbit's out of the hat, right? Goalie, I'm not sure what you mean by a sniper rifle. So a sniper isn't a firearm type. It's a job, or it's an action of a person, you know. Is it a precision rifle? Yeah, it's a precision rifle. So that was, with the original barrel, that was a law enforcement package rifle I bought in 2000. Let's see. People are so dumb nowadays. Some are, yeah, but trying to think of how to say your name here. Melinda, I think. How are you doing? Appreciate you stopping. The two in the back, yeah, the two in the back. One's a Savage. It's a precision rifle. Then the Barrett M82. That's it. Actually, if you want to get technical on what classification that fits into an anti-material rifle. I know it is. I mount him that way for Utah, otherwise he gets all kinds of butthurt about it. Yeah, good with my guns. Yeah, you're good, man. Ask questions. That's how we all learn. So, you know, I've been trying to teach Orange Smoke that's the proper way to have a bipod, but he doesn't believe me. So, people see a scope on our... Yeah, that's okay. I mean, like I said, that's just a way to educate somebody, you know. A sniper's a job, not a rifle. But who knows? I'm surprised some manufacturer out there hasn't labeled their precision rifle a sniper rifle. It'd probably be a huge selling point. Orange Smoke, how are you doing? How'd your week go, man? I see you made it through, right? I have the Taurus 856-38. There you go. You know, I don't mind Taurus revolvers. I've had a lot of them over the years. They've all been okay. They work. Like I said, that little 7-shot, that's my home defense gun. That's the gun that sits upstairs under my bed. Austin, Australian. I lost that. I'm of Austrian. Damn it. I'm of Austrian descent. I love The red under the Ruger Mark IV, I believe. Yeah, so that's a Tandem Cross build. That's a sponsored gun. That's the barrel and receiver of it's Ruger. It's a Ruger Mark IV, but everything else on that gun is Tandem Cross. The lower is Tandem Cross, the comp, the bolt, the charge and handle, the sights. The whole thing's a Tandem Cross gun. So it's pretty badass actually. I wish I were. I don't really wish I were right-handed, but if I were right-handed, it wouldn't be my son's. Looking to get my first AR, but I don't know. I don't want to spend a ton of money. What do you recommend? I recommend you look for a used one. Look for a used quality one. You can generally buy something used for the same money as one of these budget entry-level guns. So that would be what I would do for a shop around. Look for something that already has an optic on there and maybe has some upgrades. Goldie, stick around and ask questions. Absolutely, stick around. Bunch of the people in here are people I interact with quite a bit, so they'll answer questions too. And by all means, you guys jump in and answer them questions. Ammo, how are you doing? Did you finish your live? Keep doing what you do. I like your guns. Hey man, do me a favor, Goldie, and go to the channel and check out some of the videos. There's all kinds of videos on there of shooting different competitions. There's some stuff with FRTs. There's videos with the Barrett. We shoot everything from a 22 pistol to the Barrett to Thompson's to, I mean, you name it. We probably have a video on it. So, you thought about staccato? For that kind of money, there's better options out there. Staccatos are very overpriced. I like STI. I'm not a huge fan of staccato. Can I get one of those revolving ones, my boy? Philly, be sure to double tap that screen, but unfortunately, no. PSA makes a sub $500 AR, but it wears out fairly quickly. Yeah, that's the problem with budget rifles is you're giving stuff up. You know, there's a lot of options. I would recommend looking for a used one. Generally, you can do that better, or build one. You can build a rifle for less money than you can buy one. You already got the upgrades built into it. CZ supremacy all the way, absolutely. Bought the Ruger Max 9, the updated version. What do you think of this handgun? I'm not familiar with that Ruger Max 9 at all. I haven't seen one yet in person, so I'd like to say something one way or another, but I have no opinion. Yeah, the Platypus has a lot of customizable features, but pretty much all their stuff revolves around color. They don't have, actual like a ton of options you can choose. It's color based. You can pick different color schemes. Very, very limited when you really look at it. Do you have any recommendations on AR pistol or what caliber? If you want to shoot an AR, 9mm is probably the cheapest, followed by 5.56. So you can do an AR-9 or an AR-15. If you want to do a lot of shooting, 300 black coat is kind of expensive. Maybe not the best way to go. Yeah, the new Springfield Echelon I actually do like. It's a nice. They did a good job on them. Great firearms. What's the red latch looking piece above the trigger on the black? That's a gas pedal. It's a thumb rest. So when you grip the gun, your thumbs go on that. So in the rear is the safety. Directly above the magazine release is the slide/bolt release. And then you have the gas pedal for your thumbs. The gas pedals are nice. They help you have a very consistent and repeatable index on a firearm. So I agree, ammo. PSA is not the best option. Life of the rifle depends on the quality of the barrel. On most ARs, it's the extractor that goes first. I don't know about that. So on most ARs, the very first thing to wear out is your gas rings. And then you start getting receiver wear, barrel wear. If you do a lot of shooting, you do precision shooting, you change your barrel at 1,000 rounds. Um, you know, to think you're going to get 10, 20, 30,000 rounds and still have accuracy, you're not. But with that being said, you can completely smoke a quality barrel in 500 rounds. You know, you go out with an FRT or full auto and you'll destroy that barrel in a few hundred rounds. So a good quality barrel should be a foundation to a quality rifle, but it depends on what you're doing with it. 9mm Beretta, I assume is what you're trying to say. Let's see. My nickel boron bulk carrier group I bought on Amazon for $116 is still running good 12 years later. Yeah, the nickel boron they last. The problem with nickel boron is it's harder than the AR-15 receivers. So your bulk carrier will look new forever. You're not going to wear that out. They chew up gas rings, but they do a lot of wear to the upper receiver. So some people would rather change their upper receiver. Some people would rather replace the bulk carrier. Gotcha. I got a MK4 too, but didn't recognize the part. I was just wondering if it was an extension for the side release. No, it's gas pedal. So if you go to Tandem Cross, they carry them parts, which I would absolutely recommend. I can't say enough good things about Tandem Cross. They're a great company. Ruger Max 9 is a good little 12-shot 9mm compact handgun. I'll have to check that out when I get done here. I like PSA for super safety. Absolutely. That's if you're gonna run super safeties or forced reset triggers and stuff, have a cheap gun for it because you're gonna destroy the gun. It takes no time. But you know, you can buy barrels for ARs for $100 or less, and if all you're doing is running bursts out of it, then it doesn't matter, right? Best revolver for super discreet carry, but for a non-revolver shooter. Depends on your budget. So if you're gonna carry something, you're gonna want a bobbed hammer. If it's gonna be a carry gun for being discreet, probably a 38 super or 38 special. So let's see. I like the model 206 or the North American Arms 22 magnums. There you go. So that would definitely be a good option. But is there a big difference worth paying for Daniel Defense? You're buying a reputation and a name. I have a Daniel Defense rifle, and it's a really nice rifle. Is it worth the money they cost? Probably not. My recommendation would be to build one yourself, to assemble it. They're easy to assemble, and then you get to use the best of the parts out there. So you could build a rifle that's better than a Daniel Defense for probably $500 to $700 less. So then that $500 to $700 less, now you have money for an optic. So that would be my suggestion. Orange smoke? No, I haven't. I haven't even run the patch down the barrel yet. I don't know if I'm gonna make it this weekend or not. I'm kind of short on time. Purple gun is a Ruger 22. Yep, it's a 2245 light. It was a Lipsy special. The LCP Max is great if concealment is your biggest concern, if you don't mind a gun that isn't remotely comfortable to shoot. Yeah, I carry Glock 26. I'm not going to change. I've been carrying that for a long time. Yep, just get a book on how to do it. It's pretty easy. Cost me about $400 and parts. Yeah, I guess there's books out there and stuff, but it's an easy gun to build. That's one of the things. If you're competent, it's easy gun to build. If you get into cutting your own threads for your barrel extension and doing headspace and stuff, it gets a little more interesting. Otherwise, it's a pretty simple gun to build. Assemble, I should say. I went with the nickel boron bolt carrier again and bought on Amazon 50 years ago before it was banned. Yeah. Do you send in the Neverlands? No, not unless you want to send your hookers. I'd be willing to trade you for hookers. For a guy looking to shoot a AR pistol caliber HK416D is a fun little rifle, shoots 22. So that 416D is similar to an AR. It doesn't have compatible triggers or charging handles or furniture. If you're going to go with a 22 build, check out the Smith & Wesson 1522. The pistol grip, the buttstock, the forearm, the charging handle. I gotta think, maybe the charging handle's not, but the trigger group, them are all interchangeable with an AR-15. So I would tell you to go that way over the HK416D. Local shops can usually sell you whatever random parts they get in. My local guy always lets me off. Let me know about black powder stuff they get in. Yeah. Pays to know your local gun shop, guys, because if you tell them what you're looking for, they'll hook you up. All right, Holy Ranger, you have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Thoughts on the TX22? I want one, and I only want one for to be able to put that Freedom Fingers in it. So, yeah, the 1522 is cheaper than the HK, so it'd be a better buy. I have one of the 416Ds, and I have a 1522, and the 1522 is a little nicer. Nice toys, appreciate it. I don't know. I don't have a Canic. I don't know if you think one of them is a Canic up there, but no, I don't own any Canics. I think the one you think's a Canic is probably that Shadow Systems. Always check your local shop and see what price range. Yeah, it's usually cheaper than importing something on the internet unless you're licensed. Usually, not always though. So, yeah, your mom loves it though, buddy. So, damn, didn't know that. LOL. Black Diamond, it's a Gersan MC Deluxe. So it's a licensed Beretta clone. I tried installing a Rise trigger in 3 separate air, nothing but issues. Fire 1 round, then nothing. Sometimes your lower has to be addressed. Depends what lower you're using. I found out the hard way, even the pistol grip, you need to drill a hole to make the screw fit. HK is the apple of the gun world. Yeah. Well, the HK416D though isn't even made by H&K. It's licensed. It's a licensed product. Uramax, or Umarx, is the one who actually manufactures that. They use Walther barrels, and they're made, yeah, Umarex. That's what it is, Umarex. So that's who makes them. I think they make BB guns and airsoft guns. But if you ever took the 416D apart, it's just a modified airsoft gun. Are you obsessed by weapons? No, I'm not. Home now, so can read my comments. There you go. Cooking with love. I hope you're having a great day, man. Is there a true difference in compete lower quality? Been wanting BCMM, but they are just coming back in like 500. So, yes and no. Like BCM, I don't know that all their stuff is mil-spec. They have like kind of like Daniel Defense does. It's a mil-spec plus. It's just tighter tolerances. So you are paying for some name on it. I have an FRT, but I need for a range day first. Yeah, got to get out and burn that up. They go through ammo quick. Tactical Llama, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Black Wrench CZP10C. Yeah, them are nice too. Do you have any Berettas? I do. I actually have a Beretta 92 FS in the safe. We put the gold one out because people like seeing the gold one. Fascinated, not obsessed, at least for me. There you go. 416-22 had an inserted barrel inside the barrel, so would not work suppressed. It's a thin barrel. They will work suppressed. So the threads at the end of the barrel are the actual threads on the barrel. It's not a sleeve. So you know the barrel on it, like I said, it looks like an airsoft or Pelican barrel, but it does go through the sleeve, and they do work suppressed. I'm pretty sure you can suppress it, at least the pistol. Yeah, you can. How do you like the Shadow Systems? Is it basically? It's basically a Glock clone. It's a nice gun. I can't say it's not. That one was expensive. That's the MR920P Elite. Elite is a steel trigger with that, I don't know what to even call the finish, like a bronze finish on the barrel, or coating. It's been an accurate gun. It's been reliable. We haven't had any issues with it. We're rounding up on 10,000 rounds with it this year. It is somewhat primer sensitive. It doesn't like hard primers, which is pretty true for most striker fired guns. And when I say accurate, it's as accurate as any other Glock out there. It's definitely not like a target gun, but it'd be a great defense gun. I don't have a flintlock, but I do have percussion ball and cap firearms. One's in the safe, one's in the cabinet. The Ruger Wrangler is a sweet shooting gun. They are. They're cool guns, man. Great gun for people to go out and just play with. Keep you entertained. Just took the 416 back. Got the GSG worked. No adapter needed. I already answered the Beretta question. I assume you heard me. Yes, I have one Beretta. I have a 92 FS, so it's the Italian manufactured M9. It's all right. I don't really shoot that type of firearm very often. I'm left-handed, so that transfer bar for the trigger gets in my way. But y'all be sure double tap that screen for me. Throw up some likes on this. Consider subscribing to the channel. That stuff helps. Check out some of the videos if you're interested. I'm sure something somewhere in there you might like. Mike, how are you doing? I don't even know how to say your name. Amna something. I don't know what the first part of that is. AK-47. Yes, I have a bunch of AKs. Debating on trying duck hunting tomorrow or go for grouse. Either way, using the 410. So it'll be interesting. 410 for ducks would be pretty interesting, I think. Best and worst revolver. Probably like a Korth would be one of the better ones. I think Nighthawk owns them now. One of the worst, I don't know. There's so many bad ones that I wouldn't even know where to start. Most modern guns will get it done, but like some of the Rock Island revolvers suck. So gotta have them close. Yeah, I bet you could damn near catch them with a fishing net if they're gonna be that close, though. subscriber. Everyone. Yeah, I appreciate that. We'll pin that. Best long-range 1,000 yards cartridge to build around here. Here from Hunters, Creedmoor is flat but no expansion. Yeah, that's the problem with the 6mm Creedmoors. I don't, a lot of people talk about 1,000-yard rifles, but how many of you are actually shooting 1,000 yards and understand what goes into it? So, I think that this Creedmoor, the 6.5 Creedmoor, is probably the easiest one to do it because it shoots relatively flat, but even that takes a little bit of understanding of ballistics. So, Smith & Wesson Shield, I don't own one, but seems to be a really popular firearm. A lot of people do have them. Fellow hot brass on your forearm enthusiast, it's fun. But yeah, I love the hot brass on my arms. I love it even more shooting like a right-handed AR and getting it to go down my collar of my shirt. That's absolutely the funnest thing ever. I love it. Yeah, the Corsair, badass. What do you say about that? They're bad to the bone. Rolled Woods, that is a Gerson MC Deluxe. It's a licensed copy of a Beretta. It's a little bit, they changed a couple things on it, but it's a licensed gun, so parts are compatible. The basic version of that they sell is identical to an M9. I have a Beretta M9, and there's no difference really between them. Nothing worth talking about. Green Hood Smoke, how are you doing, man? How's your day going? I have a Glock 17.5, 26.5. Am I dumb for wanting a Glock 19? So I have a Glock 17, I have a Glock 26. I've had a half dozen Glock 19s over the year, and I end up getting rid of them. I'm not a fan of the Glock 19. I'd love to say it's a great gun, but I'm not a fan of it. Maybe with an optic it would have a place to fit in, but for me it's just an oddball. I don't particularly like the recoil of the Glock 19. The 26 is fine, you expect that in a subcompact, and Glock 17 is about as soft as it's going to get. So only thing softer than a 17 is a 34, but my opinion. People dogging the 6.5 for expansion for hunting are not using the correct bullet. Probably they're using, match bullets, an open tip match bullet, but Hana's King, absolutely. I'll throw in a couple Glock switches too. It's the kind of guy I am. Work in progress. It's half empty. I was able to find some 3-gun stuff close by starting that in a couple weeks. There you go. You'll have fun with that. Did you change your channel name? Work in progress or do you still have the half empty? So we're pretty well slowing down for the season now. I have a couple more matches coming up, and then we'll be back at it. I've been working on rifle ammo for the last few days. It takes forever to load, man. That's just such a slow process. I had all our rifle. Do me a favor, work in progress. Go to my channel, leave me a comment in the shorts so I can find this channel when I'm done. I'll resubscribe to you. That's the easiest way for me to find your channel. Yeah, I got guns. You can tell whoever you want. I would suggest if you're going to tattle on me, go ahead and start big. Go right to Homeland Security or ATF or DEA or something. I'm definitely worth their, you know, being told on. I don't know what you're gonna tell them though. I mean, what some American free white over 21 pays his taxes, not a convicted felon or domestic abuser, has a firearm. Oh no. Oh no. Please no, don't do that. Let them know my dogs are friendly though. But yeah, y'all be sure to double tap that screen. Throw some love up on here. Subscribe to the channel. That's always great. Helps out. But yeah, that little North American Arms. That's a cool gun. I've had that one for a while. I think I got my first one like that back in like, I bet she was like 2003 or something. And I've had a dozen of them bought and sold, and that one I've just hung on to because I'd buy them and sell them. You know, a friend or somebody would want to just go get another one. But yeah, it's 22 long rifle. They do make 22 Magnum versions, and they make 22 shorts. But that particular one is 22 long rifle. Yeah, 22 long rifle. Hi man, I'm John from the UK. The laws are different over here. It's hard to get a gun unless it's on the black market. Yeah, we have some things that are going for us. None of them are my EDC, so the black revolver is one I keep in my vehicle. The little snubby stainless one is my home defense gun that stays in my bedroom. Otherwise, my everyday carry is a Glock 26. I think everyone should call the ATF and tell them there's a man who has guns with 2A rights. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Walker, he EDCs the 50 BMG appendix. Yeah, well, yeah, but he's not compensating. I need a belt fed. I was having a conversation the other night with somebody in their lives, and they were talking about Trump's big, beautiful tax bill. And they were saying that he completely bailed, all the Congress people bailed on us because they didn't defund the ATF. And I brought up that they took the tax away from short barrel rifles and suppressors. The tax stamp that was used, the $200 tax stamp that they were acquiring when people purchased that stuff, that went into their budget. That was money they got to use in their budget. So by Trump and Congress taking that out of the big beautiful tax bill by making that amount zero, he effectively defunded the ATF. I don't know if you guys ever thought about that or gave that a thought, but I had a whole big argument with a guy the other night. So I'm not saying they shouldn't have done more, but you know, there's going to be a lot of things this next year people purchase and do that directly sticks it to the ATF, because that was money that they had that went into their budget, went into their operations accounts. So that's a good thing. Found a 642 buried in my safe. I forgot I had. Haven't seen it in a few years. There you go. I find stuff in the weirdest places in my house, guns I forgot I had. And they're in cases or whatever. Like, in my room, we pulled the bed out to clean underneath it. And there's a couple of Ruger 1022s down there. Now, I remember buying them, looking at them. I remember buying them. But I forgot I had them. Oh man, I bet she loves that. She always knows you're packing big iron there. Probably gets all kinds of hot and bothered. Yeah, I have a few things I'm waiting on. I have a shitload of stuff that'll get submitted after the first. Even stuff like I never considered wanting to be an SBR. I'll submit it as an SBR now just to have it done. Kind of never know how it's gonna go. That's why when you fill out your stuff for SBR, they ask you the minimum and maximum length. So even like 16-inch rifles I have right now, you just make sure your maximum length is whatever it is plus some, and your minimum length is the receiver. So some point along the line, it can get a short barrel. Yeah, just what it is, man. I switched back and forth between my 1911 and my PPK for my concealed carry. I need to get a PPK. That'll still be a little ways out, but now don't get me wrong. If I walked in a shop and they had a nice stainless steel one sitting there and they weren't gouging you, I'd pick it up. But I've been looking on Gunbroker and I keep coming across one that's got a bunch of gold inlay work on it and it's engraved, and I want like $2,200 for it. I'm really tempted about getting that one. Yeah, that's the one to have. If you and I ever do hook up, bring that with you. I would very much like to shoot it. And got a pretty big 22 collection, man. There you go. Rimfire is a lot of fun to shoot. Last couple I got were approved under 24 hours, crazy fast. Yeah, they're trying to get their money, man. Part of the, like I said, part of the ATF operating budget comes directly out of the NFA tax. So them getting that money taken away, to you and I, it doesn't seem like a big deal. Okay, it's money you get to save. But that was a huge fuck you to the ATF. That was a huge fuck you to the ATF. So I traded my dad my 1887 lever shotgun for it. There you go. Was it a reproduction or was it actual 1887? Dude, it takes weeks or two for mine to clear, and I'm in Kansas, but I'm also 19. Yeah, sometimes stuff takes longer. Rumfile and sub shotguns are my favorite things. Yeah, my little TAC 14 is one of them that's going to get put on an SBS. That I won't even, like Gage was asking me, Dad, when you get that paperwork back on that, are you going to put a pistol grip on it? I'm like, hell no, I'm not going to put a pistol grip on it. I'm going to put a full-size buttstock on that thing and probably an old Wingmaster wood forearm. And then send the barrel out and get the barrel ported. But a little 14-inch shotgun, be badass. Be way badass, actually. My Sega 12 will probably be another one that gets SBS done to it. Paul, I can't handle firearms on the live. I can zoom in on it a little bit for you, but I'm not. You can't handle any firearms on live. But I can zoom up on it a little bit. There, now you can see it a little better. I got an old Ruger 22 long rifle nickel plated from 1950 and 1953. There you go. I'm assuming you mean like the Ruger Mark 1? Or are you talking one of the the revolvers? There you go, Paul. Does that work for you? So Orange Smoke, I was talking to Shaw, and he gave me his recipe. I always shoot, on 68 Sierra Match Kings, and he told me to step up to 175. So I'm going to step up to them. But he said he's getting a 1/4-inch group. He's got the exact same barrel. So we'll see. I had a TAC 13 a few years ago. I wanted to SBS it, but I traded it off. Now I have the TAC 14 pump. Yeah, That TAC 13 was badass. That was a 1100 action, right? I'm 99% sure it was 1100. That would have been bad to the bone. So even some of the stuff we've had sitting here, like we don't use, like my PS90, you know, it's got a full-size barrel on it. We'll get that done as an SBS too, just because it's done then. If all I have to do is sit down and fill out some paperwork, and then wait for the stamp, then so be it. That's no brainer. As we all know, this shit come the next election is all going sky high. So it's their V3 action or whatever they call it. You never use 80% of this stuff. Yeah, you're probably right. Pistol Pete, what's going on, man? How are you doing? How do you feel about the 10mm? 10mm is an interesting cartridge. I wish it wasn't so expensive to shoot, because it would be a badass cartridge to use all the time, but it's expensive, you know. It's expensive to load for, and you know, firearms are expensive in itself. So they're okay though. I don't think the recoil's bad on them or they're atrocious or anything. They're nice shooting. It's nice shooting caliber. So, don't call me radio. How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Jump Blast, Mr. 22. Not sure what you mean by that. When was the last time you shot the the GP 100? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago to be exact. We were shooting at the plate rack. Yes, sir. Just enjoying the last night of vacation. There you go. Oh, the tandem cross on the bottom, and then the Ruger Mark IV. I have a Volkorstren, but them two, one's my daughter's and one's my son's. So, yeah, I think you have the 6-inch, don't you, Emil? That's the 4-inch. So I've had, I don't know, I bet you I had a half dozen 6-inch versions, blued and stainless, and I liked them, but I always ended up getting rid of them. And the snubbies are too small. The 4-inch, 4 inches is all you need. 4 inches is perfect. Anybody can complain about 4 inches, then, you know, they're just being greedy. So the Ruger Mark IV is, my son uses his for Steel Challenge. There's footage on the channel with it if you're interested. Aaron, that's nice. That's what she said. Yeah, 4 inches is plenty. I traded off a GP 100 many years ago. Wish I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I traded a few off too. I had a stainless I traded off. Then I bought a blued one, I traded it off. I bought another stainless one, traded it off. So I guess I didn't have 6. There's 4 of them. That would be the 5th one. Now I've had that one long enough. I'm not getting rid of it. Every time I got rid of it, I ended up buying the same gun again, and it cost me more money. So I decided when I bought that one that the 6-inch was always a little too muzzle heavy. Great shooting gun, felt great in the hand. But the 4-inch is perfect. It's very well balanced firearm. It's fun to shoot. So that's why I've hung on to that one. I actually have, and I've had it for years, I just never done it, but I have all the Lone Wolf springs for it. I should change them. I don't know. Traded off a 686 piece Smith for deer hunting rig, then traded that off. Yeah. I love the GP 100. The internals are so easy to work on in comparison to other. Yeah, they are. They're fun guns to shoot. They're strong. You're not going to blow up a GP 100. You know, they're a little chunky, but they're nice. I used to be a really big, like, vast majority of my handguns used to all be stainless, with the exception of polymer guns. And I don't know, over the years, especially as I bought CZs and stuff, I don't have as many stainless in ratio to the other stuff again, but I still prefer stainless guns. Best couple of deer with it. It was a nice setup. There you go. Yeah, like I said, I got my spring set sitting down on my bench. And it's fucked up because I put it in the way, and then I work on something else, so I move it off to the side, and it'll be down there picking up my bench, and I'll put it back in the way, trying to convince myself to do it. I haven't. But anybody still watching, man, consider double tapping the screen for me. Consider subscribing to the channel. That stuff helps a lot. I need to order some Lone Wolf springs for the 642 hammerless. The trigger pull is about 90 pounds. Lone Wolf makes badass parts. Badass springs, I should say. I like them. Even like in the CZs, I order their springs. Only springs I don't ever get from them are their magazine springs, and then I order from the manufacturer. You need a new camera. I agree. I actually had one and sold it before I even brought it home. So I was paying on it. I was within a couple $100 of paying it off, and a customer came in and wanted it. They couldn't get one. I was offered more than it cost me, so I walked away with extra money. But that's definitely one of the things they're nice. Had I already bought it, I wouldn't have gotten rid of it, but being I didn't have it even in my hands yet, it was easy to walk away and make a couple $100 on it. So that's what I know. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's actually a Gersan, but I'm gonna go ahead and end this live. We've been on here for over an hour. It's usually about the point, it looks like, where you start getting diminishing returns. So I need a Beretta next. Don't buy a Beretta ammo. For the collection, maybe. They're great guns, are reliable, but they're less accurate than a Glock. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here too, Orange Smoke. I appreciate all you guys for stopping in. If you haven't, consider double tapping the screen for me real quick. Consider subscribing to the channel and supporting the channel by watching some of the content. So I'd appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and I'll catch all of you another time.